Welcome back to Penn State Sports Night for the first time this spring semester. I'm Hunter Pitcoff here with Andrew Destin to recap this year's Senior Bowl and how it'll impact the 2020 NFL Draft. Now, obviously, two of the top quarterbacks there, Justin Herbert and Jordan Love, had great outings. I want to know, Andrew, what were they able to do to solidify their first-round status?
Well, I think specifically with Justin Herbert, here's somebody who was able to show he can read through his progressions. At Oregon, during his past season, we saw him constantly zero in on one receiver and would look that way and perhaps wouldn't look off to a second, maybe even third option. During the Senior Bowl, though, did exactly that. 9 of 12 passing, eventually found the end zone on one drive. I think he really solidified himself with the ability to spread the ball around. And Jordan Love, man, he's got an arm. He's athletic. He might be the very next Patrick Mahomes. Don't quote me on that one, though. But he's somebody who has that athleticism, that overall game. Yeah, he had 17 interceptions this year, only had 6 in 2018. But I think he's somebody who really, athletically, he fits the mold.
You kind of wonder if the turnovers were a fluke or not, because obviously he had 6. There's a lot of player personnel overhaul, a lot of coaching overhaul in his final year at Utah State. And Justin Herbert, I loved how he was able to kind of show that he can make nothing out of something. That's something he kind of struggled with at Oregon, but nevertheless was able to get the job done. Now let's look more NFL-wise. What's some top landing spots for these two quarterbacks to succeed?
Well, I think if you look at these two guys, Justin Herbert, a perfect spot for him to go to would be the Los Angeles Chargers. I think with Phillip Rivers eventually retiring, whether that's this offseason, next year, whenever it may come, he's that big body mold who would fit perfectly in Southern California. Now, Jordan Love, I think he's another guy who could fit in a different type of system with the New England Patriots. Another position, Tom Brady, whether he's retiring, whether he's moving on somewhere else, Love could fit that mold of what Jimmy Garoppolo was a few years back, where he could either sit behind Brady, learn from him for a few seasons, or if need be, put him right into the action.
Yeah, definitely. Changing of the guards here. Two potential Hall of Fame quarterbacks switching quarterbacks rather. For me, a team I look at is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for Justin Herbert. I think he won't throw 33 interceptions like Jameis Winston did.
So we're off the Winston bandwagon.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they'll give him a year. But
I was never on it. So.
Yeah, he's a 30 for 30 guy, but for the wrong reasons. But Justin Herbert, he gets to go with Bruce Arians. I think a good comp for Herbert has been a Carson Palmer. Carson Palmer had some of the best years of Bruce Arians. Plus Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, maybe O.J. Howard gets his act together. He'd be entering a great situation in Tampa. And then for Jordan Love, I think it's similar to Pat Mahomes. He probably has to sit here, and that's why I think the Indianapolis Colts make sense. They got a bridge quarterback in Jacoby Brissett, great offensive line, solid run game, and it gives them time, a full year, to kind of have Jordan Love get the keys to Ferrari rather than the keys to a Honda Civic.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree with you on the Colts pick. I think that's a perfect landing spot for Love.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Andrew, obviously not just quarterbacks, but who are some other players that really showed out at the Senior Bowl?
Well, first one I want to highlight is Joshua Kelly for UCLA, the running back you'll see here on my left. He's somebody who had 100 yards from scrimmage, and even though UCLA wasn't all that good of a team this year, only 7 wins in the past 2 seasons combined, Kelly is somebody who stood out all season long, and especially in this Senior Bowl. Anthony Gordon, he sat behind Luke Falk and the mustache of college football Gardner Minshew last year, but now finally getting his chance to start. He did really well in the Senior Bowl. Had 2 touchdowns passing, 3 touchdown drives overall. He's really good. Now I got to throw out some respect to my San Jose native Colin Johnson, 6'6" athlete who was fantastic at Texas his entire career, but got a little bit banged up this season. Now they said he was healthy. He was a great route runner in the Senior Bowl practices leading up until the ultimate game. Didn't have great production there, but really, I think he is a sleeper pick in those later rounds.
Yeah, there's so many wide receivers, of course, and Anthony Gordon did play really well. Let's see if he can kind of spark some of that magic that fellow alum Gardner Minshew did as well. Now, looking at my 3 picks, I'm going to start off with a guy, A.J. Green, not the one that plays for the Cincinnati Bengals, but the corner from Oklahoma State. He's big, long, physical. Again, I think he's more of a press corner. He won't fit in every single scheme. He's not very rangy when it gets down the ball, but he's a very perfect guy. You can plug and play, maybe day 2 borderline kind of dude. Michael Pittman, the wide receiver at USC. USC sucks. They're not very good. But he was super productive there, put up great numbers, and he's one of the very underrated wide receivers, maybe the most impressive player all around at the Senior Bowl this year. And then Bryson Hopkins, a tight end from Purdue, very underrated tight end class, but he's a natural hands catcher, also very athletic as well, so you can line him up anywhere, and I think he's going to be a steal in the NFL draft this year.
Yeah, I really like your pick there on Pittman, because even though there was a lot of quarterback turmoil there at USC this year, went went through Daniels and Slavis. He had a lot of injuries. He was still somebody who was very productive, highly thought of. I think he's going to be pretty good at the next level.
I 100% agree with you there. Now, Andrew, not everyone performs really well at the Combine. Who was one guy that kind of disappointed?
Shea Patterson. Look, that's not any bias as a Penn State guy, but really, I mean, 6 of 10 passing. Yeah, he had 1 touchdown drive, but he had a really ugly interception over the middle. Wobbly pass, didn't have the tight spiral. I don't know that he has the arm strength, the precision, and he's really not that good of an athlete to run around the field. So Patterson, to me, he'll be lucky to get drafted.
Yeah, perhaps he peaked in high school a little bit. A guy who I look at is Jalen Hurts from Oklahoma. I don't know if he necessarily hurt his stock by playing bad, but he didn't really wow anybody, and there was a lot of quarterbacks that did. So I think the talk of him going in the first round is pretty much settled at this point.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. He's more of a run-first type of guy. He did it a lot at Alabama. It was the case again this year at Oklahoma.
Yeah, most definitely. And as you may or may not know, the Senior Bowl is just part of the equation. Expect us to bump out even more NFL draft content as we inch towards April 25th. And that's going to wrap it up here. For Andrew Destin, I'm Hunter Pitcoff, and thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching our latest edition of Penn State Sports Night. If you're a fan of our content, please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more clips. Also follow us on Twitter at PSSNTV and on Instagram at PSU Sports Night to keep up with the action. For all my colleagues, we are Penn State Sports Night.